What was one of the other things that stood out quite a lot in the conversations that you had with IT businesses?
I think it's really interesting as a leader of where do you draw that line of I'm your leader, but I also want to be supportive, and how much do I share about what's going on with me personally?
Yeah.
And I think that there is a fine line. Women not so much, but men I think do, because they're, I don't know, like when women are chatting, you know, you often say, oh, and this is going on and da da da, whereas men aren't as open, I don't think.
We have to drag the information out of the boys in our office. The girls are all chit chat, and the boys we've literally got to say, what's the girl's name? Oh, I met a nice lady. No, we need the details. Give us the details.
So I think that, sorry, the balance between the personal life and the as a leader. And I think it's really interesting because as a leader, I mean, I've led teams before, so I get this. There is boundaries that I think that you need to hold, but then the people that are reporting into you also want to know that you're a human and that your life isn't perfect, because I doubt that anyone's life is perfect. And so I think that by sharing sometimes that something is going on, or you may have a friend or a family member who's struggling, then that actually just shows that, oh, you're actually a human, you're my leader, but you're willing to share a little bit as well. Because if you've got a leader who is really stoic and you don't even know whether they're married or not, but then they want to know everything about you, you're not really going to be that open to be sharing stuff. Whereas I think that just finding that nice balance of being able to share and to show that you're a human as well. And so when I talked to leaders about that, they did notice that when there have been, and it's funny because a lot of them said like courageous enough to open up about their personal life, then that has actually then built more of a camaraderie in the team because they've seen that actually
everyone knows everything about my personal life. My kids and my dog.
So I think that that's quite interesting because we do want to know that, because people want to know, one, that they're heard and that they're being listened to and that they're being seen, but also that maybe you've got something that's going on that is relatable as well.
Yeah, relatable is good, isn't it?
Yeah, relatable.
So specifically in the IT industry as opposed to other roles, I feel, and I know, having helped people with their tech problems over 30 years, that quite often it does feel a little bit like you're a counsellor, because normally when you get to somebody's computer, they're at the height of frustration. So the easiest thing for them to do is make it our fault to start with. So we kind of quite often come into conversations where whatever the problem is our fault, despite the fact that we didn't write Excel or PowerPoint, like I didn't make the program. Just trying to help you use it. I have been blamed for how things work in the past. So being kind of able to separate the way that people are talking to you to what job you're there to do, I think is one thing. So learning how to kind of take personal attacks, because you get them quite often, but then also combining that with, then you're sitting at their computer and they've got nothing to do for 10 minutes or half an hour while you're sitting at their computer, and so then they do, like, you just have to ask them the question to keep them busy, and then you hear the entire life story. So quite often we hear things like that from the clients that we're working with. And particularly in our business, because we do some home support, we get wives who've lost their husbands, who, particularly when we had a storefront, we would have at least one crier a week sitting in the office feeling terribly distraught about the fact that they've lost somebody and there's all this data on their computer and they don't know what to do about the computer, or they've never used banking or any of those types of things before. So there is a fair amount of stress that lands on you when you're in a tech support role, because they're cranky at you because something isn't working and it's clearly our fault. And And then once we've kind of established that we're just here to help and we'll fix the problem, then you kind of get loaded with, here's all of my problems in my life. I can't actually blame that one on you. Here's the rest of them. And so, you know, so kind of dealing with that as well, I feel is, you know, potentially, when I think about it, I guess, I mean, my daughter's a physio and she says she gets the same thing when she's working on people. She kind of gets a dump of all of their private information
hairdressers,
as well.
I think, as well.
Totally.
Hairdressers,
Yes. Yeah.